What if the most powerful secrets of the universe were not locked away in a fortified vault, but hidden in plain sight within the pages of a small, unassuming book? A book that promises not just knowledge, but dominion over the very forces that govern reality. This is the story of a text shrouded in mystery and controversy, a grimoire known as the Black Pullet. For centuries, its origins have been debated, its contents whispered about in hushed tones, and its power both feared and coveted. It claims to be the legacy of an anonymous French officer, a survivor of Napoleon's Egyptian campaign, who received its arcane wisdom from a mysterious sage in the heart of a pyramid. But is it a genuine repository of ancient magic, or a masterfully crafted hoax, a product of the occult revival that swept through 18th century France? To understand the enigma of the Black Pullet, we must venture beyond the veil of its legends and delve into the heart of its forbidden teachings, a world of talismans, rings, and entities that defy mortal comprehension. The narrative of the Black Pullet, or asterisk, La Poule Noire asterisk in its original French, is as fantastical as the spells it contains. It presents itself as the personal account of a French officer serving under Napoleon Bonaparte during his famed Egyptian expedition. After a brutal attack leaves his entire company dead, the officer is left for dead in the desert, only to be rescued by a mysterious Turkish man who appears as if from nowhere. This man, a wizened adept of the ancient arts, leads him to a secret chamber hidden deep within one of the great pyramids of Giza. Here, in this subterranean library, the officer is initiated into a world beyond his wildest imagination. He spends the next 20 years as a student, learning from the sage and his council of masters, heirs to a lineage of knowledge stretching back to the scholars of Ptolemy, and, it is claimed, even further back to the genius of the ancients. The sage reveals to him a trove of magical artifacts, inscribed talismans and enchanted rings, each possessing a specific, extraordinary power. He is taught the art of their creation and the esoteric words required for their activation. The book, therefore, is presented not as a mere collection of spells, but as a direct transmission of this sacred, guarded knowledge, a practical guide for the modern magician to replicate these wonders. Central to the grimoire system of magic is the creation and use of 22 specific talismans and a series of powerful rings. Unlike other magical texts that focus on complex, lengthy rituals, the Black Pullet offers a seemingly more direct path to power. The magic lies within the objects themselves, meticulously crafted according to precise instructions. The materials are often exotic and symbolic: bronze steel, silk cloth, and specialized inks made from celestial attuned herbs and minerals. Each talisman is engraved with mystical characters and words from a forgotten language, said to be the very tongue of the ancient magi. These inscriptions are not mere decorations. They are the conduits of power, the focal points through which the practitioner's will is channeled and amplified. The process of creation is itself a ritual, demanding focus, intention, and a deep understanding of the symbolic correspondences outlined in the text. Once created, a talisman bestows a specific ability upon its bearer. One might grant the power to become invisible at will, allowing the user to walk unseen among their enemies or allies. Another promises the ability to discover hidden treasures, pointing the way to caches of gold, silver, and precious gems buried deep within the earth or lost in the wrecks of sunken ships. The powers escalate in their ambition and scope, moving from personal advantage to a grander control over the forces of nature and humanity. The book details talismans that can unlock any door or secret, rendering all physical and metaphorical barriers obsolete. It describes artifacts that can grant the user knowledge of any subject they desire, effectively pouring the wisdom of the ages directly into their mind. There are talismans for protection, deflecting harm and turning back any malicious magic sent by an enemy. Others grant the power of persuasion, making the bearer's words so compelling that they can sway the hearts and minds of kings, judges, and lovers alike. The pinnacle of this talismanic art is the titular Black Pullet itself. This is not a living creature, but the last and most powerful talisman described in the grimoire. It is a figure of a hen, crafted under specific astrological conditions, which holds the power to command a legion of jinn. With this talisman, the book claims, the magician can find any treasure on earth and will be granted an inexhaustible supply of wealth, ensuring that they will never again know poverty. The creation of such an object is fraught with peril and demands the utmost precision, but the reward, as promised by the text, is nothing less than absolute material mastery over the world. This focus on tangible, often materialistic results is a defining characteristic of the Black Pullet, distinguishing it from more spiritually or philosophically inclined grimoires. Complementing the talismans are the magical rings, which function as keys to unlocking the talisman's full potential and as powerful artifacts in their own right. Each ring corresponds to a specific talisman and often acts as the primary tool for activating its power. For example, to become invisible, the practitioner would not only need the correct talisman, but would also wear the corresponding ring, placing it on a specific finger and uttering a secret phrase. The rings are the triggers, the interface between the magician's will and the latent power dwelling within the engraved metal and silk. Beyond their role as activators, the rings grant their own unique abilities. One ring might allow the bearer to speak and understand any language, a power of immense value for a traveler or diplomat. Another could grant the ability to travel vast distances in the blink of an eye, a form of magical teleportation. Yet another bestows the power to control the weather, summoning storms or calming seas with a simple gesture and a word of command. The text is explicit in its instructions. The metals, the stones set within them, the engravings, and the day and hour of their forging are all critical components of the magical formula. This systematic, almost scientific approach to object-based magic is what lends the Black Pullet its unique and enduring appeal, promising a form of sorcery that is, in theory, replicable by anyone with the courage and diligence to follow its arcane recipes. However, the power offered by the Black Pullet does not come without a price, and its most controversial aspect lies in its invocation of supernatural entities. The book teaches the practitioner how to summon and command various spirits, often referred to as jinn or genies, to do their bidding. These are not the benevolent, wish-granting figures of popular folklore. The beings described in the Black Pullet are powerful, ancient, and potentially dangerous. The grimoire provides the specific names, sigils, and conjurations needed to call them forth. The rituals are elaborate, requiring circles of protection, specific incenses, and unwavering mental fortitude. The magician is warned to never step outside the protective circle, for the entities summoned are bound only by the power of the ritual and the authority of the magician. Any sign of weakness, fear, or error could result in disaster, with the summoner falling prey to the very forces they sought to command. The purpose of these summonings is often to charge the talismans with their power, or to carry out tasks that are beyond the scope of a simple magical object. For example, the jinn might be commanded to retrieve a specific treasure from the bottom of the ocean, or to deliver a message to someone on the other side of the world. The relationship described is one of dominion, not partnership. The magician is the master, and the spirit is the servant, bound by the ancient laws of magic that the book claims to reveal. This element of commanding otherworldly beings places the Black Pullet firmly in the tradition of Solomonic magic, echoing the legends of King Solomon, who was said to have bound demons to build his temple. Yet, for all its detailed instructions and fantastic claims, the authenticity of the Black Pullet remains a subject of intense debate among historians and occult scholars. The story of its origin, while romantic, is filled with historical inconsistencies. There is no independent record of the French officer, the Turkish sage, or the hidden library within the pyramids. The Napoleonic context seems designed to lend an air of adventure and credibility to the text, capitalizing on the wave of Egyptomania that swept through Europe following Napoleon's campaign. Many scholars argue that the book is not an ancient text at all, but a product of its time, likely written in France or Italy in the late 18th or early 19th century. Its magical system, while unique in its presentation, draws heavily from earlier, well-known grimoires like the Key of Solomon and the works of Pseudo-Agrippa. The language and symbols, while claimed to be ancient, bear a strong resemblance to the magic alphabets common in European ceremonial magic of the period. This suggests that the author was not an heir to ancient Egyptian wisdom, but a clever occultist who synthesized various existing magical traditions into a new, compelling, and commercially successful format. The grimoires focus on wealth, love, and power over others, perfectly catered to the desires of a burgeoning bourgeoisie class, fascinated by the promise of occult power as a means of social and economic advancement. Ultimately, whether a genuine artifact of ancient wisdom or a brilliant piece of occult fiction, the legacy of the Black Pullet is undeniable. It has remained in print for over 2 centuries, captivating generations of esoteric seekers and practitioners of magic. Its pages offer a tantalizing glimpse into a world where the laws of physics are negotiable, and the will of a determined individual can shape reality itself. The book's allure lies in its directness, its promise of tangible power accessible through the creation of specific, potent objects. It democratizes magic, taking it out of the hands of an elite priesthood and placing it into the hands of anyone daring enough to follow its instructions. It is a testament to the enduring human fascination with the forbidden, the secret, and the powerful. The grimoire forces us to confront a profound question. Does the power lie in the ancient lineage of the text, or does it lie in the belief and intention of the person who uses it? The secrets of the Black Pullet may not be what they seem, but for those who walk the shadowed paths of occult lore, its dark promises continue to echo through the ages, a siren song of power waiting to be claimed.